It's time once again, time to celebrate the Suds. Raise your glass to Tampa Bay Beer Week. And back with the details is beer blogger Sean Norquist, along with Chris Fairchild, Executive Director of Tampa Bay Beer Week. While all of that is a mouthful, I am sure we are going to have some happy mouths after this beer here. But more importantly, Beer Week.
Beer Week.
Is this like, do I want to say like Happy Beer Week, Happy Beer Week?
Happy
Is
Beer
that
Week.
our greeting we use?
Yes, Happy Beer Week.
So if people are just learning about this, we've had the pleasure of talking about it a year ago on our show. Tell people what this is all about.
So Beer Week is something that came together. We're in what year now?
6 years.
6 years now. And it's a celebration of all things beer in Tampa Bay. Everything from our really great local craft breweries to some of the great stuff that we get from overseas, but really celebrating beer culture. And since we're talking Beer Week, we're going to kick off with the official beer of Tampa Bay Beer Week.
This is the official.
Yes.
That I've seen over here. What is this?
Brewed by Brewbus Brewing Company. They were the winner of last year's Ultimate Brewer competition. The winner of that competition, and that festival is this Friday night, the winner of that gets to brew next year's beer. This is a tangerine wit beer. It's a Belgian-style wit beer with Florida tangerines.
And explain, as I'm taking a taste test here, explain why we're looking at different cans as we're seeing in our shop.
We did a really unique approach this year with the packaging. They had the ability at Brewbus to do 4 different artist labels. So these are, it was an open submission, and these are the contest winners. And each one is a unique local artist here in the Tampa Bay area.
So you're recognizing brewers in the Bay Area, you're recognizing artists in the Bay Area. This, I taste the tangerine, but it's not overdone.
That's right.
Which is nice, very subtle.
It's not a juicy fruit beer. It's got some rind in there, which makes it pop a little bit, but it's more about the yeast and it's more about the balance of the beer.
Oh, I'm digging that. And I know we've got other choices, but while we have Sean here too, so many times people right now are talking about, Clearwater's the best beach, and we're growing for tourism and food restaurants, things of that. But our beer scene is really good. And I would say, with you being on the executive director of
the Florida Brewers Guild, yes.
What does that mean? What are you seeing? Talk about the culture a little.
It's really just blown up. And anyone who's been around beer for a while in Florida has known that we're still very young and very late to the game as far as a lot of the rest of the country. But we have been growing exponentially. We actually have over 200 breweries in the state of Florida now. We have, I think, over 60 now just in Tampa Bay area, maybe even more than that. Tampa Bay really was the epicenter for the explosion, but now you're seeing great beer scenes open up in Jacksonville, in Gainesville, and South Florida. I mean, all over the place, and you're really seeing it across the board, and everybody really doing different and interesting things. And speaking of different and interesting.
Oh, look at this. Sean's been on. He's now a pro. He knows how to do the
So this is Sakura Obscura from Seventh Sun Brewing.
That's a name.
And they actually have 2 locations, one in Dunedin and one in Seminole Heights.
Different, sweet.
So this is a, Chris, you're going to have to remind me what this one is.
It's a Berliner style Weiss, so otherwise known as a Florida Weiss locally. But it's lightly tart, and that fruit might add some of that sweet element you're feeling. But cherry and pomegranate in there, obviously adding that beautiful color.
The pomegranate, but good. Again, I love the color of it. What else do you have?
So this is a honey saison from Green Bench Brewing in St. Pete.
I think you've brought this before.
I think this actually might be a new one, because this is something they've done with orange blossom honey, and it's actually aged in a foeder, which is an oak fermentation vessel, which Green Bench is really well known for. And they're actually having a big festival on the Friday night during Beer Week called Foeder for Thought, and it's all beers from all over the place in these farmhouse style in these big oak foeders. And while you're drinking this last one, this is. Chris, you can talk about that one while go ahead.
So it's a collaboration beer with Seventh Sun Brewery again, but with Terrapin out of Athens, Georgia. And that's really what Beer Week is all about. There's a lot of collaboration beers being made during the week. There's a lot of collaboration beers being tapped throughout the week. And so it's a great way to show it off.
I gotta say, when Sean's here, I'm always hearing terms that I'm starting to recognize, and you've kind of glazed over a few too. Tampa Bay Beer Week really is a way to learn more, learn about the breweries. It seems like you can walk away as a beer lover with a lot more information, let alone just the tasting, right?
That's right. And there's hundreds of events throughout the entire week. There's something for everybody. Festivals, small tap features, educational events. It's a time to explore.
And probably one of the best things to do, actually, and of course it's a shameless plug, but on the big kickoff on Saturday is the Florida Brewers Guild Craft Beer Festival. all Florida breweries from all around the state, over 70 breweries, over 250 beers. Tickets are still available, but it's going to be a great time. And the brewers actually and the breweries are there representing their own beers.
That is great. Guys, thank you so much talking about this. I know you two are passionate, but it seems like everybody these days is really wanting to learn more. So be sure to go out and visit everybody on Saturday. Thank you again.